We're going to go to the investment world, and I am going to pass it straight to Ben for some news out of Coinbase. Ben, take it away.
All right. My mic working this time? We good? Awesome. So Coinbase Global is doing a strategic investment in Zipmex, an Indonesian-based centralized exchange, which is doing a B series raise of about $40 million to push its overall value to about $400 million, according to a report from the block. Now, what's interesting is that strategic investment is a step back from an overall acquisition that they were supposedly planning, but decided not to in March. Now, this comes amid a downturn in the larger crypto market, Coinbase's stock price sliding a whole bunch from its IPO, as well as Coinbase rescinding previous job offers that they've seen. So to me, this kind of plugs into all that, but I'm curious to get you all's thoughts about, how important a strategic investment may be, whether they're looking to get more of an international foothold, and also just kind of how you're seeing this ecosystem develop, particularly with centralized exchanges investing in other centralized exchanges.
I got you. I think this story is actually not that interesting, but I think it does matter because, bear with me, because we get a return to what Coinbase has been doing the last 6 months, which has not been great, and that is the important story here. Coinbase has not been doing that well. Last 2 weeks we saw that they rescinded a bunch of job offers, like high-profile job offers. There was these pleas, did you guys see them on LinkedIn? Like the people being like, hey, I have a PhD, I just turned down like all these different programs, all these jobs because I got a job at Coinbase, and Coinbase rugged me. That's a bad look for Coinbase. At the same time, their stock is down about 75% since November. It peaked at like $3.60 a buck, or $3.60 a share. And now it's trading around $70 a share. They've been riding the roller coasters from the stock market angle, and then they've really just put themselves in a hole in terms of like crypto graces. No one really wants to be associated with that name brand right now. So it's interesting to see the fact that like they're not able to perform well with like the job market, with the stock market, but they're still able to get these acqui-hires going. They're still looking to expand. And to your point, Ben, like that is maybe like a corollary story that is interesting, is the fact that Coinbase is trying to grow its product market. There was some reports, Zach, you probably know this better than I do, but they were trying to move into Brazil with like a 2TM. Yeah, no fact check needed. There we go. They're trying to move into Brazil with some acquisitions, which was pretty nice. Don't think that worked out. I thought it fizzled at a certain point. I'll pass it to you in a second. You can correct me. I think it fizzled out. Now they're trying to move into New Zealand market, trying to move into just different markets in general, which shows you about like their global ambitions. It's confusing though to see them offer like this millions of dollars right when they just dumped a bunch of offers to regular people who are going to work at Coinbase. But Zach, I'm going to throw this over to you. Get your take on it.
I will take it. Yeah, I think the timing is notable, right? So on the one hand, cost-cutting measure has been announced. On the other, hey, our VC activity is still chugging along. We don't know when this deal was ultimately closed and whether the announcement is just timed out in a way that looks kind of odd, but it definitely looks kind of odd when the news around the offers being rescinded is certainly out there among the crypto Twitterati. So, I don't know. I mean, there is a bullish spin here, right? Coinbase is trying to expand its global presence and has the money to do that through strategic investments. Maybe the cost cutting isn't going to be so bad after all. But again, the timing hurts a little bit for those folks who had their jobs pulled after making that leap into Coinbase land. But I saw Ben's hand up, so I'm going to toss it his way.
I think it's also worth pointing out, too, that this isn't just a crypto issue, per se. Like, we see VCs jumping in on companies, kind of buying this dip or investing in this dip in overall stock markets. Tesla said it's going to cut 10% of its workforce. You have other companies kind of rescinding offers. So, it's interesting, but it's not, super unique to crypto. And it also does show that crypto is kind of tied to this overall stock market, which it has generally claimed to be independent of. So, just a little footnote here, but not just Coinbase, lots of other companies that were doing well, not doing as well right now.
I got to pop in here. Because I've got a big problem with what's going on, and I'm going to speak for the underdogs here. So we have all these people, all these big companies in crypto that did really well, and they made a lot of money. What were you doing with your funds during the bull market? What were you doing with your funds? And for you to rescind job offers, I understand that's like, from a business perspective, I understand why that's done, because people need to keep their profit margins up, they're public, all of that type of stuff. But at the same time, it's not a good look when we're talking about going into this potential recession, potentially a depression. So number one, that's my issue. I understand that they have to invest money overseas, they have to, to kind of establish their footprint as a business-wise, but at the same time, during this kind of market downturn, I think that these big crypto companies need to do better. They need to set a better example for the industry. Somebody like Coinbase, they're massive. Everybody generally downloads Coinbase as their first entry point. I did in 2017. But I feel like they need to set the tone and establish, like, hey, just because, you know, we're possibly going into a recession, which we know we're in a recession, they need to set a good example and start building. And I do use Coinbase, but at the same time, you know what? I've got like 10 accounts on every single, you know what? We're going to talk about OPSEC. I have like 10 accounts. Ben's laughing. I've got like literally 10 accounts on every single crypto exchange that I can, because it's good OPSEC, and you got to use different emails, different passwords, all type of that stuff. We talk about it on my show a lot. But crypto as a whole, all these exchanges, if they want to survive, they are going to kind of have to operate like banks. And I know that's a very gross way to put it, but we need customer service. We need people that can help on-ramp average people like myself and average people like my mom, my sisters, my cousins, my, you know, grandparents, whatever. And Coinbase really could have used that opportunity to do this in this bear market, and I feel like they failed.
I feel like this is doing that, though. You know, I mean, yes, Coinbase has rescinded the job offers, and I feel and that's horrible. I agree with both of you. But I think during the bull market, crypto companies were just hiring, offering these insane salaries, and that's the first thing that you can cut back on when you're looking at your roadmap. You can still offer those easy on-ramps, that educational material, and expand into different jurisdictions where that's needed while cutting back on employees. And so I'm not saying what they did was good. And Wendy, I see that you have a rebuttal for me. But I think if you're looking at it from a business perspective, they had this acquisition on the books. They didn't go through with it. We saw a lot of acquisitions in the bull market. It's changed now to a strategic partnership. If they can broaden into the Asian market during the bear, then maybe those jobs can come back during the next bull cycle, and they can grow. And so I see where they're coming from a business perspective. And Wendy, I will give it to you for the last word, so you can fight with me on that.
All I'm going to say is, if you are not going to be growing your company, but going to be acquiring or purchasing or investing in other companies, how are you going to be able to effectively manage that without the proper skilled workers to do so? That's my only thing.
They still have a lot of employees.
I don't care. I want the underdog to win. I'm sorry. I'm biased here. I can't help it.